It's so amazing being back here in Toronto. Just a few days ago, we were actually in New York for the very first We Day United Nations.
You know, it's amazing that what started here in Toronto has now grown all the way to Madison Square Gardens at the UN, and we were working with thousands and thousands of inspired young people and change makers and speakers. We had people like President Mary Robinson with us last week, or President Sterling Johnson, and of course our own Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, was with us.
Now, We Day started 10 years ago right here in Toronto. Now it's become a global movement, showcasing our passion and our commitment to break down barriers and create a better world for all.
You know, we wanted to start by sharing with you that story about the United Nations because, well, We Day UN was filled with optimism and with hope. It was just down the street where the UN was meeting that we saw a very different conversation about the state of the world that we all live in today.
Unfortunately, it was filled with talks of nuclear bombs and terrorist attacks.
You know this, the hurricanes, floods, the natural disasters.
Because if you follow the news, you know that today we live in a world gripped often by fear and division. We see walls going up and borders closing.
As we come together today on the 10th anniversary of We Days, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to say that the problems of our world are just too big. And honestly, some of the world leaders have done just that. They've really shrugged off their responsibility to the global community. They've actually turned inwards, dividing instead of uniting.
The challenges we face are daunting, but in times like this, we need to think back, Craig, to a conversation we had years ago.
We were sitting with an amazing man, the anti-apartheid activist. That means he helped to end a system of segregation in South Africa, and a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Yes, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. He's actually one of the reasons why Nelson Mandela walks free today.
Because when we were younger, we told Archbishop Tutu, we've come to so discouraged. We stopped reading the newspaper because every day you open it up and you see the news and it's only filled with all the suffering in our world.
When we said that to him about all the suffering, he looked at us and he said, the newspaper, it's not a collection of all the tragedies. He said it's actually God's to-do list, delivered right to our front door to challenge us to take action. Now, let me be clear, I don't think you have to share his faith, or for that matter, any faith at all, to appreciate the meaning and the challenge of how he challenges us in his words.
Because, ladies and gentlemen and friends, there are two fundamental choices on how to live our lives. We can choose apathy,
and walk past that homeless person in the streets.
Or we can engage with the world, and if you believe in that, make some noise.
And every single day, including today, we have laid in front of us opportunities to make this world a better place.
We can choose hope, we can choose optimism,
and we can choose to create the world that we all want to live in, a better world.
We want to see a change. We want to be the change. And again, if you believe in being the change, let's hear all your voices together.
So in coming together this morning and looking at the state of our world, if you've ever had self-doubt, if you've ever really wondered if you can make a difference, listen, we got your back. We know, because when we were just teenagers in 1995, we felt the same way. We read a story about a young child slave named Iqbal Massih on the front of our paper, and I wanted to help, so I went to my grade 7 class and I asked my friends, will you join me? And honestly, we never set out to start a charity. In fact, we started by calling other charities. We said we wanted to help, but they said we were too young. They said you could send money, but not much else.
So there was no meaningful way back when to get young people involved, to get back, and we couldn't find anybody to support us.
But eventually we did find that support, and it was in our parents, and in our teachers, and in our classmates. And after 20 years, the We movement is here today with a stadium filled of change makers.
Guys, the reason we're so excited to be here today representing we's the organization simply we wish we had when we were younger.
Because we exist to make doing good doable.
We believe in you, and we believe together we can share that passion for a better world.
Because we believe that we want to bet in you as change makers. When we give young people the tools and the skills they need to create change,
Like a billion drops becoming an ocean.
together we become something powerful, something unstoppable.
Together we can have a tidal wave of impact. In the words of Robert F. Kennedy, we can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance.
So if you are willing to choose hope and optimism,
If you are willing to come together right now,
we want to hear all of your voices together, raised loudly as one.
we learned as teenagers that a better journey to have an opportunity to change the world starts with education. It starts in classrooms. Now, all the teachers, we love you, by the way, all the teachers, we know that the purpose of education isn't only reading, writing, and arithmetic, it's also to turn students into leaders so that they have the knowledge and the skills to better our communities.
Well, and to give back to the world, to create a better world.
To succeed academically.
And to engage as citizens. That's the mission of We School.
So We Schools is the key to getting involved at home, and We Villages and how you can make a difference around the world with the 5 pillars of international development.
So we're going to hear a lot about education,
Clean water,
food security,
opportunity,
and healthcare, because we know that you have today created amazing impacts. You are the engines that drive We Villages. Your bake sales, your coin drives, your birthdays for a cause have built, hear me on this, you have built over 1,000 schools and schoolhouses all around the world, with 200,000 children graduating from those schools.
We are so proud of you. Your car washes and your lemonade stands have given 1 million people clean water for the rest of their lives and 15 million nutritious meals. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Wow. Like what these young people do, what the students in schools do is amazing. So imagine with us for a moment what we could do if we all come together and if we commit as one goal as young Canadians to make a difference.
Imagine, Craig, if everybody here today pooled their efforts and together we aim to provide local opportunities and global education, and globally to make sure that every girl and boy, but especially girl, has a chance to go to school.
So as we talk about local actions you're going to hear throughout today, we also want to present a really big global one. We want to challenge every school in Canada to have a sister school in a developing country.
Because when you give one child a chance to read and write and you open that door for the child to fulfill their dreams, and when you do that, you change the world for one child.
So imagine if we all committed to building a school around the world. So together we want to set some massive goals. We want to dream big. So we want to celebrate with inspiration to get us on that path. So we brought together some awesome friends to celebrate last year's actions and to look to this next year.
And we want to stress, get involved in any issue or any cause you wish. We are here with that journey with you. And today, ladies and gentlemen, today, we're going to hear from former Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon. Wow! About what we can do to help protect the environment.
Well, you know, we've got humanitarian and activist Mia Farrow, who's going to bring us frontline stories from what's been going on in the Congo and Sudan, understanding the refugee crises around the world.
And we're going to hear from Canada's Man in Motion. Give a love to Rick Hansen for making the world more accessible.
And I'm excited about this one. We're going to hear from the filmmaker Mike Downey about how he and his brother Gord Downey are collaborating with Indigenous communities and challenging young Canadians to become involved in reconciliation right here at home.
Wow, what an amazing day we have today, because those lessons and tips and stories will inspire us all year long.
Oh, they'll inspire us to keep going. So remember at the beginning, we said at times, when you look at the world, it can seem kind of pessimistic, kind of dark.
Together we can write some new headlines.
Yes. Together we can answer that cynicism of the adults with hope.
And together we can have that optimism. Together we can do so much more. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the color of our skin.
It doesn't matter what culture we might celebrate. The world needs all of us to come together.
So right now, today, as we celebrate We Day right here, we are celebrating Generation We, or what we like to call Gen We. So everybody, if you're part of this generation, and if you're willing to take action, if you're willing to get involved, we want you to stand up. Everybody stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, Gen We. And we want you to answer these questions with the words Gen We. We want you to answer these questions with the words Gen We.
So we look at our world today and we say, who will stand up to racism and hate?
Who will open the doors for opportunity for all?
And who will commit to creating a better country and world?
Have a great We Day, everybody. We love you. Have a good day.
Thanks so much.